Some places feel wrong the moment you step inside them. Not because of what you see, but because of what stares back at you. These are not stories about ghosts. These are stories about people and places wearing the disguise of holiness. And once you realize that, you never look at a church the same way again. I was still in school when this happened. I had two close friends back then, Jason and Brian. We did everything together. School, weekends, stupid adventures. The kind you don't realize you'll miss until they're gone. After graduation, Jason's dad got transferred for work. They moved to Lexington, South Carolina, far enough that it felt like a different world. A few weeks later, Brian and I were invited to stay with Jason for a weekend. It started normal, too normal. Out of boredom, the three of us decided to hike through the nearby forest. No phones with GPS back then, no trail maps, just confidence, the kind only young people have. The forest was quiet, not peaceful, quiet. We followed a river that cut through the trees like a dark vein. At first it was beautiful, sunlight on water, birds in the distance. Then we got lost. We couldn't tell which way was upstream. No roads, no houses, no sound of civilization. That's when the panic started creeping in. We decided to keep following the river, hoping it would lead somewhere, anywhere. That's when we saw it. An old building made of deep red bricks, almost swallowed by vines and bushes. It looked like a church. A dirt parking lot sat beside it. And in that lot were 4 cars. All old, all white, or at least they used to be.
Rust eten.
Tires flat or missing. They were parked perfectly side by side, like they'd been placed there on purpose. As we got closer, we heard music. Gospel music. Singing. Relief washed over us. People meant phones. Phones meant help. We stepped inside. The church was old. Cracked walls. Peeling paint. Wooden pews that groaned under weight. Inside were about 24 people. They were dressed nicely, but you could tell they were poor. At the piano sat an elderly woman. White hair, horn-rimmed glasses. She stopped playing the moment we entered. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She just stared. Then it happened. Every single person in that church stopped singing at the same time. Song sheets lowered. Heads turned. Slowly, in unison. They looked at us with eyes so empty, so unwelcoming, felt like we had interrupted something we were never meant to see. Jason apologized, said we were lost, asked to use a phone. No one answered. The silence was thick enough to choke on. The only sound was the wood creaking beneath their bodies. We backed away, slowly, quietly, and left. As soon as the door shut, none of us said a word. We walked up the dirt road fast. Brian whispered something that made my stomach drop. There were no crosses in there. No Bibles. No Christian symbols. We looked back. About a dozen men stood outside the church now, watching us, not moving, just staring. We ran. We sprinted for what felt like forever. Eventually, we reached an old, broken-down gas station, the kind you only see in photographs. Inside, behind the counter, was a man. Oberlitan. Dirty baseball cap. Oil-stained hands. He smiled with a mouth missing teeth. "You boys lost." He gave us directions, detailed, rehearsed. As we left, I looked back. The man stood outside now, arms folded, smiling, watching. When we finally reached the highway, night had fallen. No cars stopped for us, until a police officer pulled over. When we gave him Jason's address, he whistled. "You boys were way off." Then he said something I'll never forget. "You need to be careful in those woods. There's some real crazy witch folks out there." This happened years later. I was 19, living in New Jersey. There was an abandoned church at the top of a hill near our town. Everyone knew about it, and everyone avoided it, which is exactly why we didn't. It was October. Sean brought a Ouija board. We parked far away and walked up the hill with one flashlight. The church door was already broken open. Inside, it smelled like mold and rot. Sean set up the board. 3 candles. placed in a triangle. When we turned off our flashlights, the darkness swallowed us. We could barely see 6 feet ahead. Sean asked if anyone was there. The planchette moved. We laughed. Then, crack, a sound from the altar, like wood snapping in half. We shined our lights. Nothing. We tried again. Silence. Then, something hit the board. A rock. A golf ball-sized rock. None of us had moved. We ran, screaming. The next day, Sean went back. The candles were still there. The Ouija board was gone. Warren County, Georgia. Middle of the day. A small church on a quiet road. Cars in the parking lot. Old cars. Inside, silence. No women. Everyone staring. A man in a mask stepped forward. "Who invited you?" We left. A van followed us. All the way to the sheriff's office. They turned away at the last second. We never went back.